So hello YouTube. Today's video gonna be very interesting, and I'll make this video in English because it's a global discussion, the global hot topic out there. So you have known me to use the international brands all these years, preferably the hand brands like DD Audio and Ground Zero and whatnot. I used almost all Pioneer subs, including the Champion Pro series, the Champion series, and then recently I came across the brand called Base FX, which is an Indian brand from Goa. The owner of that company came to meet me over here at my place, and he was very humble. So he gave me a couple of subs for trial, and from that situation, I got some faith in Indian subwoofers. So I studied the philosophy, the physics behind the subwoofers, and there is no rocket science. That's why we see many Indian handmade subwoofers are being developed these days, because the exact components of subwoofer which are used in premium brands like DD, Sundown, and whatnot, FI, all those audio brands from USA are imported from China. And now, as it's a global market, our Indian guys are going to China. Also, they are making some components in house at India, and then good subwoofers like this are being developed in India. And only difference you will have is the brand name and R&D. Okay, these guys don't have R&D, but that R&D is already done by the Chinese manufacturers, so they provide them the right components. Like and I will also tell you why I chose the Kicki base as my favorite Indian brand at this point of time to start with. Okay, because I did lots of research. There are many guys in India who are making the handmade subwoofers. Like I know Crown Audio guy from many years. I know IND Audio, uh, LBM Paji, everyone knows now, RDS and whatnot. There are many brands, out of which there are some brands which are really doing business ethically. What I mean by ethically, so in handmade subwoofers there are majority of components like basket, magnet, spider, the surround, cone, and dust cap. That's all. And other than that, the voice coil. Okay, that's all. If you have all that and if you have skills, then you can also make your own subwoofer, but it needs lots of trial and error. So all these guys are spending lots and lots of money in before starting the brand. That goes into R&D, because everything should be snug fit, everything should be tortured at a level where it will withstand over the rated RMS wattage. So this subwoofer right here is 1200 watt RMS, but it's my guarantee you can give it around 1600 watt RMS clean, and it will take it like a champ. And I have spoken with this guy from last 6 months or 1 year, I believe, and he is very ethical in his business. So his philosophy is like, if this subwoofer needs a spider or the voice coil or the magnet of 1200 watt RMS rating, he will use overrated soft parts as well as the hard parts like magnet, motor, everything. So that's the reason his subwoofers will last forever, and they will outperform many of the other subwoofers. And the price of this Kicki based product line is little bit higher than the budget segment Indian handmade subwoofers we have, but the quality this guy is making is really top notch. That's why I got his faith. This is my second subwoofer with Kicki base. Previously I had 1000 watt RMS, and I tested it fully. I have shaken the blocks away with the extreme lows. My car is well known in this area, but I keep changing my cars. But still this car looks like a stock from outside because it's a top model, but still people know me. Okay, my previous cars were modified a lot, that's why I was very famous in my area, but that's a different topic. Now coming to the point, these are the soft parts and hard parts we have in the subwoofer, and that's the reason I trust this guy. Now if you closely look at this subwoofer particularly 1200 watt RMS. And if you look at DD or Sundown X12 or DD 712 for an example, the weight, the structure, the motor, the voice coil, everything is almost of identical specification, and that's why you will have the faith at one third cost you are getting those kind of products. Okay. And only difference you will have is little bit into the efficiency. Like, see, for example, Pioneer has very nice R&D, but their subs are very lightweight. That is because they have tried to achieve max in that category. Now, what I mean by max, I will tell you the example. I had Pioneer 300 3D4, which is 600 watt RMS subwoofer. That subwoofer had sensitivity of 96 dBs. 96 is huge. Okay, that subwoofer was way efficient in my Swift, and even on the 600 watt RMS setup, I was way louder out of the car. All people used to stare at me on the red light, and that is because they have well engineered it at efficiency. But what happens when you focus only on efficiency? You have to reduce the weight of your soft parts, you have to keep the suspension loose. Okay, and that is reason those subwoofers blow very easily. Those are very delicate. Like, I had no guts to play decaf songs on that subwoofer. Let it be 3002, 3003 or Champion series. All those subwoofers used to give me a smell immediately, even on clean power, because they are rated. And even in user manual you will see they will always recommend you to use less than 80% of RMS wattage. What does that mean? That means that their rated power is not a actual true power, because actual true power, like you take for DD Sundown, they will say you can throw more than rated. Okay, not on paper but orally. On paper they will say 100% of rated power is fine. Okay, but with Pioneer that doesn't work. What is the reason? Because efficiency. They focus on efficiency, not on the type of bass, the musical reliability and decaf. They don't care about it. They will use the stock files, not the rebased songs for their testing. Okay, now the brands which are specialized in SPL, like Sundown, DD or even Handmade brands, they focus on these kind of torture. Okay, I will call it torture, because in decaf you will torture your subs to the extended limit. You won't take care of them. So for that reason you should have something robust. Okay, now when you have robust thing, like even in DD, okay, when I had DD subs, those are robust, but what happens? The mass of the subwoofer increases. The mass of the subwoofer increases, that means it reduces the efficiency. Like, your cone will not move freely, lightly, because it's built heavily. It's a rigid structure, and that's why you will have loss in efficiency. It won't be as loud as the Pioneer Pro. Okay, Pioneer Pros are really loud, trust me, but at only certain peak frequencies, not at extreme low bass. Okay, so that was my observation. And coming to the point, all these pros and cons are part of physics. So if you add mass, you will have rigidity, you will have good low bass, non-pressed paper cone. Pioneer never uses. Okay, Pioneer has their patented cone technology, which is of fiber or plastic. They will use that type of cone. They will never use the paper cone. Okay, and that's why their subs are loud. And their subs are loud, that doesn't mean they are loud in SPL. They are loud at peak frequency, some frequency, and which is most of the time beyond 50 only, 40 50. That is mid bass for me. I don't like that kind of frequency, especially in Champion series. You will have a headache in couple of minutes. So that was not my goal. This subwoofer will give pain in your chest, not on your brain. Okay, and that is what SPL is known for. Okay, you should have thump in your chest and not the headache, not the boomy mid bass. that is cheap bass. Okay, I literally call it cheap bass. If I've seen guys adding 3 4 5 subs in their car, entry level subs, and they find themselves proud of it, that is cheap bass. Okay guys, that is not a real bass. For real bass you should have smooth, ultra low frequency, deep frequency, which will please you for hours. You won't get any headache or anything from those kind of subwoofers. And that is the reason these subwoofers are built like tank, and they will lose some parameters like efficiency, but they will give you something else. So it's vice versa. You won't get everything perfect in any subwoofer in this world. Okay, you have to compromise on some of the other part, and that is why all subs I rate are almost the same. Okay, all subs will have something good, something bad in it. Okay, so these handmade subwoofers have good amount of build quality. Okay, but the what I should say now con about this subwoofer is they won't have the machine made precision. Okay, like if you take 10 subwoofers of same model, you will have little bit difference in all of the subwoofers, little bit, because they are handmade. And handmade things do not are not supposed to have 100% accuracy like the machine made stuff. So that is the only con, but that really doesn't matter in car audio industry, where you won't hear such minute differences. And even in machine made you will have some kind of minute differences, but those are not noticeable. Okay, the same thing goes. So that's the reason I switched to handmade subwoofers. And I'm really satisfied. Trust me guys, I'm really satisfied. The key is in the subwoofer part is your box. If your box is good, almost any subwoofer will sound good. And you should know your taste. If you love decaf, you should have big oversized enclosure. I will call it oversized because you should go beyond the recommended volume of the manufacturer, and you should have proper port area. And then almost any subwoofer will do wonders. Okay, almost any subwoofer. And that is why these days handmade subwoofers are winning the market, because the need of the youth is they understand, they have the knowledge of bass. They need deep low frequency bass, not just noise. Okay, they know the requirement, and that's why these brands are doing good these days in the industry. I'm not saying the branded subwoofers are bad. If you have the money, then that is the best thing to buy if you are going to use it for years and years ahead. I'm YouTuber, I'm going to keep changing my setups, and that's my job, to educate you with the new technology, new subs. And that's why I keep changing my setups every now and then. So that's why I tried this Indian brand. I am really satisfied. I told you why I chose this brand, because this guy has very good ethics in business, and that's why he will never cheat you with the product. The product will be of top notch quality, no matter you go for entry level or you go for the top of the line model, which he has right now, 2500 watt RMS subwoofer. And he is planning to launch all the subwoofer line from 8 inches to 18 inches very soon. So that was all. This is not any kind of promotion. This was my honest experience with handmade subwoofers, because many people are thinking, even as of today, that handmade subwoofers can never match the quality of the branded subwoofers. I see the comments on many of the videos on my brotherhood, which is on YouTube. They also buy the handmade subwoofers and review them on YouTube, but I see the comments, people saying this is nothing and branded subwoofers are branded subwoofers. Why? Give one technical reason, have a technical debate. Or it doesn't make sense to just throw the random comments on random videos and prove that you are right. Okay, so we should have a technical debate. Anyone is willing to prove me wrong, I am open to accept the fact. But whatever is my observation, I have shared it with you frankly. Okay, and big brands have big margins. Okay, that's why they will, if the big brand subwoofer you are getting at the same cost of handmade subwoofer, then definitely there is cost cutting. Definitely, it's a common sense, because those ultra big industries won't survive in loss. Okay, they need profit, and these new beginner youth, they are trying to make their name, so they will put their best material inside because they want the good name, they want to develop their brand, not like well established already existing brands. Like for example, I will tell you Nakamichi. Nakamichi has two models, 600 and 900 watt RMS, and both subs are doing very bad. You will see tons of examples where those subs are failing, and I have also seen those are going for recon within a month. Okay, so that is not what is expected from such big brands. So many of the big brands are doing third party manufacturing, and they are just pasting their label on it and they are reselling the subwoofer. We have Indian brands also like that. They are doing third party manufacturing directly from China. They are importing it ready piece, complete subwoofer, and they are just pasting their logo and they are selling it. But there are some guys who are actually doing the R&D, who are actually going to China and all over the India where the soft parts are available. They are finding the best soft parts or hard parts, whatever it is, and then from those all refined good quality components they are making the subwoofers. So that's the difference, and that is what this guy is doing, Kicki Base. So that is why I chose this brand even for the second time. I'm planning to upgrade my amplifier. Then I will buy the 1600 watt RMS model also of this brand, same brand, and then you will see. Another thing is, uh, I had DD3515 few years back, and that was 15-inch subwoofer, rated 1200 watt RMS, and made in USA series. Made in USA series is 1.5 lakhs. Okay, that was price of that subwoofer at that point of time, and that subwoofer was also not as heavy as this one. That was 1200 watt RMS rated, but it used to do 2000 watt RMS easily. Okay, and same is thing with this one. Okay, this sub is 22.9, that means almost 23 kg. This subwoofer, I have told you in previous video, you can see the performance of this subwoofer and unboxing. So this thing is heavy because the magnets are heavy, the basket is made of aluminum, pure aluminum, still it's heavy, and all the soft parts used are heavy, like such thick spacer they have used, thick layer of 6 layer of spiders they have used. So these things come at a cost, and still you will get this thing at one third cost of the branded subwoofers which are imported from USA or China, whatever it is. So that was all regarding my video. This was in-depth discussion on handmade versus the Indian subwoofers, and why I particularly chose this brand Kicki Base. Previously, as I said, I used the Base FX brand, which is from Goa. Those subwoofers were just 300 watt RMS rated, and when I tested their bass tube, I told you about this topic also in previous video. And when I tested that bass tube, it was made of wood, and that bass tube gave deep bass. Bass tube never gives deep bass. Bass tube just gives boomy loud bass, and people are crazy for that because it's cheap. Anyone can buy it. So when I tested that bass tube, I was surprised how bass tube is going deep. Then I brought two subwoofers, and I made my custom enclosure as per my design for deep bass, and that enclosure made wonders. I used to listen decaf on those subwoofers, and I never had smell on those subwoofers, even though they were entry level subwoofers, 300 watt RMS. Still no complaints, and even and with JBL Pioneer we have the complaints. Okay, they are also same RMS wattage. There I won the faith on Indian brands. Now Base FX is not manufacturing any other subwoofers than that one. They are limited to 300 watt RMS category. Now I wanted SPL, that's why I started my search, and then I met this guy, and this guy made me his official dealer as I'm YouTuber, and I was happy because he was ready to partner, and I had faith on him. I spoke with him, and I got the idea that he has good technical knowledge. He will give me the best product possible. So that's why I trusted this guy, and this is the best product possible I had. So that was all regarding handmade versus branded subwoofers. Now I will give you the conclusion. If your requirement is to have SPL, go for handmade, because SPL branded setups are very expensive. Like you take any brand like these days, Deep Boss, Aura, these are like a premium level brands, and luxury brands like Sundown, DD are out of budget. Okay, for me at least. So they are ultra expensive. An Indian luxury brand, I would say LBM. That is also ultra expensive, but that is also very refined product. But at that cost, I will prefer to buy a branded stuff if I have to pay that much for Indian brand. So there should be win-win situation for both manufacturer as well as buyers. So if you want SPL, go for Indian subs. If you want to give bad signal, go for handmade subs. Okay, handmade Indian, any handmade sub is okay. And this video is not only about India, even out of India there are people who are making the handmade subs. That's why the reason I am making this video in English. And if you have the cheap non-rated amplifier like any Chinese amplifier interfere or something, and you don't know the true rated clean RMS power, go for handmade subs, because they are built like tank. They will take even bad signals, and they are easily repairable. You can send it to the same manufacturer, he will easily repair it. Now coming to the who should buy the branded stuff. If you have taste of music which is normal music, uh, Bollywood or standard non-rebased music, no extreme, you don't need extreme lows, you are okay with the normal bass, okay, and you want that product to be accurate. Okay, by accuracy I mean the true signal, true response. So you should go with branded sub, you should go with the recommended volume, okay, and you should go with branded amplifier, most important, because then only you will be able to give it clean signal, get the overpowered amplifier and tune it low. You got my point? I'm saying this because you will provide him the good signal, and this branded setup will last forever. Literally I have seen people using the cheap entry level Pioneer subwoofers for 10-15 years. So that tuning, if your tuning is good and you take good care of your equipment, you don't do demos and you don't abuse them, then it's good setup. Branded setup is really good. Another true fact I will share, if you are like me who keeps changing setup, who is very dicey, who is never satisfied, he who keeps on experimenting like me, you know, name of my channel is Bayside Labs. I keep on experimenting things. So if you want something which you can sell quickly, resell quickly once you are done with your experiment, then go with branded setup. Branded setups are extremely easy to sell in market, resell. I mean, extremely easy to resell because everyone knows them, and people are mad for branded stuff. And if it's a new stuff, handmade stuff, no one knows about it, then it's really difficult to convince people, at least at this point of time into the market, that this is so and so subwoofer and this has better quality than the branded stuff. It's very difficult to convince them. So if you are looking something for yourself which will give best bang for your bucks, value for money, then go for this thing, handmade. So that was my conclusion. If you have any further questions, drop your comments below. If you have different taste of music, decide the subwoofer category very sensibly. Like entry level subwoofers are good for Bollywood or normal music. The high end subwoofers are good for SPL or decaf music. You will have mostly lows from this subwoofer, and if you want the normal Bollywood music, then the performance will change. Like on lows, this subwoofer will perform better than on Bollywood subwoofer. You will have some kind of compromise, but on decaf and all, these kind of subwoofer, SPL subwoofer wins. Okay, and once you start listening to decaf, you will get that habit immediately, because it's seductive in nature. It will seduce you. So that was all. If you have any questions, feel free to drop comments below. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, live loud.